You may have heard of the phrase biodiversity offsets. An offset is a method to help compensate for an adverse impact on the environment. Biodiversity offsets are used when losses of high conservation value vegetation and habitat are approved by Council. Biodiversity values that Council offsets include habitat for threatened species such as the swift parrot, 40-spotted pardalote and Caius dollar skipper, as well as threatened vegetation communities. A vegetation community is a collection of plant species that are found together in a specific location. Many people choose to live in Kingborough because of these diverse, unspoiled and rich natural values. Offsets can be big and represent losses of larger areas of native vegetation, or they can be smaller and represent the loss of individual trees. In the approval process, impacts on biodiversity are first avoided, then minimised, and any unavoidable impacts are then offset. Biodiversity offsets are administered in line with Council's Biodiversity Offset Policy, which can be found on Council's website. Biodiversity offsets are most often direct and on-site, meaning protecting land on the same property as the impact, or indirect and through a financial contribution. Offsets can be as a result of a planning permit or may have been captured through a local bylaw. Financial offsets are received by Council and kept in the Kingborough Environmental Fund. What a financial offset is to be spent on is defined in the original permit conditions associated with the vegetation removal. Separate offsets for the same biodiversity values are pooled together in the fund to allow for a more strategic conservation gain. Financial offsets are spent in accordance with the guidelines for expenditure of the Kingborough Environmental Fund and the Kingborough Environmental Fund Implementation Plan, which can be found on Council's website. Most of the offsets received into the Kingborough Environmental Fund are used to protect and manage native vegetation on private land. Conservation covenants are a useful tool to help landowners protect biodiversity in their patch of bushland for future generations. Other offset projects, such as planting swift parrot habitat in Margate, have been associated with individual and specific permit conditions. Council has received over 540 financial offsets, delivering more than $1.2 million into the Kingborough Environmental Fund. Most of the financial offsets received are relatively small, with 73% of offsets under $1,000. If you are planning a future development on your property and would like advice concerning potential biodiversity offsets, please contact Council's Development Services Department. If you have paid a financial offset and would like to know what reserve it has been directed towards, or if you would like to express interest in private land conservation, please contact Council's Natural Areas and Biodiversity team, or for more information, head to Council's website.